Welcome back to another edition of Six Borough Sports, your home for New York and South Florida sports. Today, Pete's back, baby. We always knew he would return. But before we get started, I'd like to please remind everyone to like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subs. Thank you so much. Ah, it's good to have Pete back in time for spring training. I'm going to the Nats Mets game up in West Palm. I live south of West Palm. Um, on the 23rd. I'm also going to Port St. Lucie on March 9th. I'm really excited to see this new team. It wouldn't feel right if Pete wasn't coming back. And this was just for how long it took a really good deal. People say it was a good deal for both sides. It's a good deal for the Mets. One, it makes the fans feel great because, like me, we want Pete back. We want to do another run. They didn't have another replacement except maybe Vlad Guerrero Jr., but I don't think they wanted to trade any of this prospect capital to get him. And, I was talking to my father about this. Like, Pete would not be here right now if he did not hit that home run in that Brewers game. That Brewers game bought him this current contract with the Mets. If they went into this offseason and that was Pete's last game, that Brewers game where he hit that home run, forget it. He would no longer be a Met. Um, Absolutely would have been devastating. It would have been devastating for his career because now he has an opportunity because a lot of teams didn't want to give him money because he's on a downward trajectory. Um, it gives him the opportunity to prove himself and get the big contract. This contract is a huge bet on himself, and it's a pretty good bet for the Mets. The Mets are betting we can get 2 good years out of him, and he's betting that he's going to have a monster year because he has the opt out. They're paying him 30 mil this year, and then the 27 mil, I believe, in the next year. Uh, a total of 57 mil, I think, is the total. But it's a good deal, especially for the Mets. And it's amazing how much the tides have turned. The Mets gave all that money to Soto. I was like, great. And they made a bunch of other moves, which I've liked most of the Mets moves. I kind of wanted Tanner Scott, and you let Tanner Scott go to the Dodgers of all teams. But the more the offseason went on with the Dodgers, I was just like, this team is just being ridiculous at this point. So you just have to hope that you're fighting the Dodgers at the end and try to beat them. Just get them, and that's it. But the Mets their lineup looks fantastic. I'm going to have it up on the screen. I mean, we got Lindor, Soto, Vientos, Alonso, Nemo, Alvarez, Winker, Siri, and McNeil. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of having Winker and Siri, but there might be some room for the minor leaguers to come up, especially the two from the Scherzer and Verlander trades. I think that might be the uh, the path forward as the season rolls on. I think the key for the Mets is going to be Alvarez and McNeil. One or both of those two can step up. This is going to be a big year for the Mets. Also, Lindor can't be like really slow at the beginning of the year, um, like he did last year. That was very hard to watch at the beginning of the year last year, but he made up for it in the second half and ended up almost having an MVP season. If he could do that for a full year, well, now here's the problem though. Now you got Juan Soto on the team, so it's very hard to win an MVP. Well, I shouldn't say that because Juan Soto, Judge won an MVP with Juan Soto with the team last year. But the Mets are this is perfect. They'll probably need to make another move during the season. They might need another pitcher, but they're positioned really well now to have a great season. Um, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to go to spring training. Like I said, the weather down here has been Absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to go to some games. And this is going to be a fun season. And getting Pete back, if they didn't get him back, they would have been left a bad taste in my mouth going into the season. It's great to have him back. I'd like to see him prove himself and get a bigger contract. I don't see him staying for the second year. I see him opting out unless he gets injured. If he's staying for the second year, that's bad news for the Mets, not good news. That means he's injured, and no one will want to sign him. Now he could get injured and then be like, "Well, no one wants to sign me," and then have a monster year the next year. I doubt it, based on the way he's playing. But hopefully, he has a healthy season. He has a great season, and the Mets are. I mean, he should have a good season. He has a lot of protection this year, and if the Mets hitters can, have a more balanced year as opposed to just getting hot at the end. There's a ton of potential with this current roster as constructed. Um, some other things about the Mets pitching staff. There's a lot of question marks, but then again, what I like really about Stearns and what he does with pitchers, he does it really well with relievers, but they'll shift around starters too. Is they will they have very short leashes. Like relievers is like, oh nope, you don't have it, get out. They don't mess around. They don't do like what Luis Rojas used to do, where the guy's like he just doesn't have it and he keeps him in the game, keeps him in the game. And I don't even hate Luis Rojas. I think he has a plan and he wants to stick to it, but he's got to trust his gut every once in a while and see that a guy's not playing well. But um, yeah, they need the pitchers to step up. I'm hoping Mania steps up. I was happy that they didn't give Severino that money. I think they got everything out of Severino that they should have gotten. The A's are really overpaying for people. I don't really understand what they're doing because I think they're playing in that minor league park this year. Okay, we got like two teams I think playing in minor league parks. You got the Rays and Oakland. They're like homeless teams. Baseball's in a weird state right now, and they're talking about expansion, which I'm not a fan of. I think the talent pool is very diluted. Like 60% of the league is on the Dodgers, but 60% of the talent in the league is on the Dodgers, which is crazy. But I think the Mets have a real shot. Are they the favorite to win the whole thing? No. And Mets things happen. Soto could come to the Mets and just suddenly forget how to play baseball, which would be a very Mets thing to happen. But this is a good day. It's a good day to celebrate. I want Pete to become the first Met to hit 500 home runs in a Met uniform, like together. Like Gary Sheffield hit his 500th home run as a Met, but he didn't hit 500 home runs like total as a Met. So if Pete can do that, I think that would be really cool. And yeah, he'll definitely be one of the Mets legends. I think after this couple of years, especially if the Mets can win it, and he took that like lesser contract, and the Mets go and win the World Series, he could forget it. I do expect, and many people have said this. I'm not the first one, but I do expect Pete to get a standing ovation on opening day when he comes up to the plate uh, at City Field. He's going to be he gained a lot of good both of them gained a lot of good press. Cohen and Alonso. Like yeah, we came together, we're all staying and yeah, because Cohen got a pretty good deal for him and Alonso, he took a pay cut to stay because I think he could have gotten a better deal with Toronto, but I don't think he wanted to go to Toronto, to be quite honest. I think what Toronto, who's talking to Bregman from what I heard, is trying to get the safety net in case Vlad leaves. Toronto's in a tough spot because they have the money, but the problem is no one wants to go there. The other problem is the taxes are a lot higher and the cost of living is a lot higher. So you're paying all those taxes, and then the house that you buy is going to be worth multi millions if you want to buy like a major league baseball player house. Like the Toronto real estate market is absolutely insane. So you're getting killed on taxes and cost of living as a multimillionaire. Um, and you're living in Toronto as opposed to any other place. Like, you know, the Marlins, they won't pay you any money, but you're paying like nothing in taxes and can semi afford to live in Miami. Oh, Miami's not cheap either. Uh, yeah, Toronto's in a tough spot with that. I don't know if the Mets are going to go after Vlad. Oh, they could go after Vlad next year if Pete has a good year. He could opt out, and the Mets could be like, okay, thank you for everything. We're going to go with Vlad now, or they could keep both and see what happens. But they're going to be a completely different team by the end of the Mets. The pitching staff, we're not going to know who's going to. Someone's getting hurt. Someone next week or the week before or spring training is going to be like, oh yeah, by the way, I need surgery. It always happens. Happens on every team. There's always someone who gets unexpectedly hurt. It's frustrating, but I've grown to expect it. I've matured now. I used to get angry about it. I got angry about it during the Verlander years because I was just like, we're kind of all in right now, and you guys are getting hurt. But really looking forward to this season. Let me know what you guys think is the key for the Mets next year. I think the key is Alvarez and McNeil, and maybe a rookie needs to come up. That's the expectation for me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to be making a Super Bowl preview video tomorrow. So look out for that. And just everyone, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you then.